So today we're going to take two load tables and join them together and add a calculated column. So I'm going to start off with load orders, and we can refresh our warehouse and look at what things are going on. We can change our filter to load tables in our data warehouse, and then we can see what's available to choose from. So I can take orders and orders details and join those two tables together. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take orders, pull it across. Naming standards, target location standards are all in play automatically, saving you time. Oh, that's right, we already have this, but this is in anticipation of a fact table. So we're going to say stage orders fact, so we don't overlay any previous tables that we created in our data warehouse. So I'm just going to say OK at this point, and I'm going to add some orders details columns. I'm going to join these together. I don't need everything that's in the orders details. I'm just going to pull across the product, the price, and the quantity. So now we are seeing load orders details as sources. In fact, if we do an impact analysis and look at the trackback diagram, WhereScape understands that we are joining two source tables that have been pulled into the data warehouse into load tables and joining them into this stage table. So next we need to do is go ahead and create that table. So now the table is created, and now we need to build the update script, and this is where you give it the join criteria. So we can look over here, and I can come into my source joins. I have the ability to add a where clause and a group by clause here as well. So let's go ahead and do that. We have the ability to choose your primary table and your secondary table in your join. We can add it. I have the ability to make it an inner join or a left outer join or a right cross, all of that. So now we have a little bit of heuristics built in. I can draw the lines if I want to, but I like to use the computer wherever I can. So let's use some automation, and it says, oh, there's order ID in both. Would you like to join on that? And it will draw the line in for us. Next, you can review it. You have the ability to add parameters if you need to parameterize it or do other things as well. This is a simple join, and we're ready to go. And so now we have built the table, we've built the code from a template, and now we're ready to execute it. So I have the ability to execute it via the scheduler or execute it in my interactive mode. Since this is development, I'm just going to execute the script right now to load it. So now we have our data loaded, and we're ready to make a change. So we have this physically created, and I want to add a calculated column. So I can come up here and I can duplicate this column, and I'm going to say it's order value. We'll call it that, order value. And so I can add to my documentation very quickly by saying it's price times quantity. I'm going to leave the data type the same, the format the same. I'm going to take the source away because we're really looking at a calculated column. And you can come over here to the transformation, and we can add it. So I can take, and since I used price as my source of my duplication, I have that loaded in. I can just paste it in. So we're building a calculated column. That's price times quantity. So now I can come over here and I can use built-in functions for Snowflake to do things. You can even build your own reusable transformations. But at this point, let me look at this. I can look at logic functions, and if I don't understand what the Snowflake syntax is, there's an example descriptions, everything that you need to do your transformations. So now I'm just going to go into available columns and find my quantity, and I needed to put a multiplication in between. So there we go. We have price times quantity, fully qualified column names. And so now you can do one of two things. I can come in here and I could validate this against the database. So it's going to go out and pull up and say, you added a new column. What would you like to do? And so added this column, I can bring up the alter. Maybe I need to cut and paste this into my change management system to execute later. But since this is development and not production, I can just go ahead and recreate this table. Now it will regenerate the update script with the new column, execute it, and display the data all in one trip. So this is, again, automation doing little steps for you all at once. And there we have it. We have updated, we have pulled in that new order value column right here. And now we're done. We can even look at the code. We can view that update script. And we can see that this has documentation at the top, inline comments, and if we scroll down to the actual SQL statement, we can see where our transformation is. At the same time we are documenting this, we can come in and I can generate the documentation for this. And there is the documentation that for this stage table. We have the code we can look at. We have the columns and everything involved. And we even have that trackback diagram and the transformation, all done within the tool. So thank you, and stick around for the next tip. If you are interested in more information, please go to wherescape.com/request the demo.